Good evening, and welcome to another disambiguous version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your disgruntled and disgusted host, Voice of Doom. Alright, I thought I'd do another one. Even though I don't have a whole lot to say, everything's already been said, and we can already see the insanity and madness with our own eyes, and we know we're coming to the point of brother versus brother in a social civil war, in which one side can do whatever the hell they want and get away with it, and the other side can't even say boo without being thrown into prison. That's just the way the rules work in the country we have now. Doesn't matter who's in charge. Doesn't matter if Orangey is in charge or if Petri Dish is in charge. It's the same old thing. If you're a D, you can destroy things, you can yell at people, you can deface and vandalize cars, you can call people names, you can be as racist as you like, because you're the good guys. But if you're a gopper, you so much as throw a candy wrapper or a gum wrapper on the sidewalk and you're off to federal prison. And that's just the way it is. But maybe the tides are turning a little bit because we have a Department of Justice which is not a corrupt, demonic, evil entity, but is actually trying to distribute justice where justice is due. And I want to see many, 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 many D's thrown in prison. And I hope that they are skinny. I hope they have lots of piercings in their nose, and I hope they have purple hair, long hair, and they can see what it's like in prison. Okay, now, what's going on? We know what's going on, but I'll make a few comments of my own. Okay, first we have this fiasco with the Signal chat, which is a stupid thing at its outset. It's prima facie idiocy to have a meeting of top-level officials on some idiot internet platform using emojis and that sounds good, yeah, I agree, yeah, okay. Sounds like something that you'd see in some TikTok chat or something, whatever they use, Instagram, I don't give a crap. It's not a viable way of running the government, and I think they found that out. But what happened was, and we all know it, that somehow a left-wing idiot lying pile of crap journalist was on somebody's list of contacts and somehow got put on this meeting, and he was totally aghast that he was allowed to be on this meeting, and he took down every bit of the meeting and copied and printed every bit of the meeting, and then he was so absolutely indignant that such a thing could be allowed to happen. It'd be like if I find a house and the door is unlocked and I go in and start robbing it. It's like, how these people are, how dare they leave their door unlocked? It just gives me a chance to come in and steal. These stupid people. It's dumb. And everybody's speculating about how that happened, and I will tell you my idea, which nobody else has come up with, because they've come up with almost everything, but they're going to get to the bottom of it, and I think the bottom is that this self-same idiot, lying sack of crap journalist wheedled his way in there and figure out a way to hack in. And hopefully it'll all lead back to him, and he will be taken away in chains and taken to that prison in El Salvador. So let's connect to the El Salvador prison. Okay, now I'm going to say something that I don't want people to take the wrong way. I'm going to explain something in a kind of a strange, offhand way that if you're not a sentient human being, which most people aren't, you're going to take it the wrong way, no matter what side you're on. Now, I've watched a lot of World War II footage because I'm fascinated with how a country can become enamored by an evil despot and go along with his program until it leads to their utter destruction, and I mean utter destruction. It's a fascinating story, and there's footage that I see all the time on every documentary where a certain person named Heinrich Himmler is walking down a path or a road. There's a barbed wire fence along that road, and on the other side are starving prisoners. Jewish people, gay people, people that are against the government, and all kinds of people that they decide to put in concentration camps. And Himmler is walking along nonchalantly, looking at the prisoners and thinking of what a good job he's doing, knowing that most of those people are going to die. Now, contrast and compare that to the exact opposite of that scenario, where a very beautiful, voluptuous official from the U.S. is walking past cells full of tattooed gangsters who have raped, murdered, pillaged, and done all kinds of atrocities. And she's walking by inspecting their situation. And their situation is not much better than the concentration camps in Poland in 1943. It's just that everything's turned around, exact opposite. And I will tell you this, that I look at that scene of that prison, 23 and a half hours a day incarcerated, with 1/2 hour of, I guess, exercise, and they are in tiers of bunks, and it's like 4 or 5 tiers high, and they're sitting on the bunks 3 in a row, one after the other, on these long bunks. I guess they don't have blankets, they don't have sheets, they don't have pillows, they don't have anything to be comfortable. And they're just sitting there cross-legged, looking very humble and looking like chickens in a coop, in a very badly maintained coop in which the animals are not being treated well. Now, most people I see on the tube, on the news, do not have much mercy for these people. And I am torn between not having mercy and thinking that's no way to live the rest of your life. And if I found myself in that situation, I would go up to whoever, if I was allowed to speak to anybody, and say, would you kill me now? Please kill me and make room for somebody else, because I can't live like this. I'm not going to live like this. And if they say, no, I'm sorry, but you're just going to stay like that with all these people with no No comfort at all. I mean, not even being able to lay down, not being able to even lay your head down for the rest of your life. I would say, okay. And when I got my half hour of freedom, I would go at the first guard I found, and I would try to claw his eyes out and hope they shoot me. Because I would not want to live like that. And I only hope that everybody had a certain amount of due process, and I mean, I hope that they were very sure that everybody in there deserves what they are getting. Because if anybody gets caught up in the dragnet who doesn't deserve that, and I mean, if you were just a burglar, or if you were somebody who broke into a store and you end up in an El Salvador prison, then that's not justice for anybody. And I know that's a very controversial thing to say, but I wouldn't live like that. They would never want to let me out of that prison cell because I would just make a nuisance of myself till they shot me. And if I have to grab people by the throat and rip their esophagus out, I'd do it. Because I want to die. I couldn't live like that for 2 days. I wouldn't be able to. So how these guys are going to make it, I don't know. But that's beside the point. They made their bed and now they can sleep in it and not sleep, or whatever they do. I don't know. Now, let's get to another subject. Lefty idiot wokester D's burning and pillaging and having a big conniption fit about Elon and going after Teslas. Now, the hypocrisy is so obvious that I don't have to even reiterate it. It's already been done ad infinitum. And the mainstream guys just kind of poo-poo it and say, as they have the right to protest. It's like, no. I'd put them in the prison. Those people I wouldn't feel sorry for. Because they need to get some real karmic retribution. And they will. If not now, then later. Now, these people that were protesting Elon and Tesla a few days ago were protesting Israel for having the audacity to attack Gaza simply because a few thousand of their people get killed and taken hostage. That's not a big deal, but you go after the Palestinians, which there's no such thing, and you're bad. So let's go protest. Now the funny thing is the Palestinians, quotes, are now protesting Hamas, and they want Hamas out of their lives, and they're getting killed and they're getting tortured in heinous ways by Hamas. So there's going to be a conflagration in Israel, in Ukraine, in Greenland, and in the United States. It's obvious. And these so-called Palestinians that are protesting, marching against Hamas, don't deserve anything but the misery that they're going to be getting, because they were the same people that were cheering the dead bodies of the Israelis who were being taken to the border, given back to their families. The same idiot Palestinians who were cheering and jumping up and down and dancing after the attack of January 6th last year, or whenever. So their karmic retribution is going to be swift and sure, and they have a long road to hoe. And a lot of people are going to die. They're going to die amongst each other. And the people, the students on the colleges who are protesting on behalf of Palestine, and by extension Hamas, will also suffer. They're going to have miserable lives, And they're going to have miserable lives, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime, for eons. So they better think very carefully about what they're doing, because I would be very circumspect about my situation. Because I don't want to live in misery for eons. I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to do it, and that's why I don't want to put myself in a position where I would have to kill somebody in order to be shot, because I can't live in captivity. I can't do it. So I wouldn't want to be in that situation. But their karmic retribution is going to be horrible, and they will not have one moment's peace for many, many, many eons, which is a bad thing. So I'll pretty much leave it there. I think I had something else to say. It doesn't come to mind right off the top of my head. But I will say this about the D's. All these news places are talking about what is wrong with the Democrat Party. What can they do to change things? My advice is don't do anything different. Keep on doing what you're doing. In fact, double down on what you're doing. Keep doing more of it until your whole political party is extinct, like the Whigs. Be just like the Whigs, gone forever. Eradicate that party, and people can wander around in the wilderness until they find some other thing to do. But get rid of the D's. Get rid of the party. They're no better than the Nazi party. And I'm serious about that. They're absolute evil incarnate. The embodiment of the demonic evil forces in this universe. And they better get it together. I wouldn't want to be them. They're just idiots going in the streets with Nazi slogans and smashing up cars and harassing people who probably had the best intentions in the world when they bought the car, and now they're being vilified, reviled, and attacked. Now, there's going to come a day when they're going to be bothering the wrong person. They had a bad day, their wife just filed for divorce, and they're a good old boy with lots of armaments in their car, and they're going to run into one of these protests, and I think you know what might happen. I'm not going to be graphic about it. But then, of course, if that happens, then everyone will say, you see how bad these people are? They just attacked a protest. You push people too far. I'm angry, and I'm a very pacifist person. I have no weaponry, none. But I'm angry, and I can only imagine how angry other people might get. They're going to say, I've had enough of this, and they might even band together, and they might even have a plan to where they can really do some damage. And then we'll see what happens. But I can't wait to see these blue hairs go into that El Salvadorian prison, because they're not going to make it one way or the other, and they're going to wish to hell that they did something different with their life other than burn down Teslas. So I'll leave it there. I think the whole world's going to hell in a handbasket, and I don't see us making it to the end of the year. But I have to work anyway. I still have to pay my bills. I'm getting a little bit behind. I'll talk to you later about that. But enjoy the day and enjoy what's left of our future. And goodbye.